have a disagreement with
Oh,
you
okay,
on
okay.
The Hebrew word for it, rib,
Yes.
it can also be translated as foundation, right?
Okay.
So a lot of women will interpret that as women are the man's foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, the way I see that is women was created from the rib of the man.
Mm-hmm.
So you are part of the man's foundation.
Mm-hmm.
The man is the foundation on which the woman was
Hello,
created.
everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're so excited about this episode. We're going to talk about the foundation of marriage, and then we are specifically talking about the role of the husband. So, husbands, get ready because this is going to be directly for you and to you. So, just to, I know in our previous video, we talked about having God in the center of your marriage. It's three people in your marriage. But just really going back, that God created marriage, and it is a representation of Christ in the church. And then we also see that lived out between Adam and Eve. And the first establishment of marriage comes from Genesis 2:24. A man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And so from the beginning, guys, God established marriage in unity, order, and also purpose. So it's not like this haphazardly thing. The foundation of marriage is essential and it is necessary, and it's just the order of things. So with that being said, I want to say that, of course, even when God is creating the foundation of the earth, the first thing he said that wasn't good is man shall not be alone. And so, of course, Adam he has dominion and he's naming all the animals. And then he was like, wait a minute, none of these animals are suitable for you. There's that. And let me create this helpmate for you. To that will be your companion and your support. And we know that he put them to sleep, and he took a rib. So the rib in the Hebrew word can be like support or side beam. And so we know that wives are created to be the support, but we really want to talk about how God created, or the role of the male. So I'll kick it off to you. What is the role of the male in marriage?
Well, yeah, you said a lot of the stuff that I was gonna say there. So
I said we're the support.
No, I'm just saying that you know, you went off on a lot of the points I was gonna make prior to you leading into that.
Okay.
I do have a disagreement with you.
Okay.
The Hebrew word for it, rib,
yes,
it can also be translated as foundation, right?
Okay.
So a lot of women will interpret that as women are the man's foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, the way I see that is women was created from the rib of the man. Mm-hmm. So you are part of the man's foundation. Mm-hmm. The man is the foundation on which the woman was created. Mm-hmm. So it's not that the woman is the foundation. Yeah. The rib is the foundation of the man from which the woman was created. Mm-hmm. And yes, you are a part of the support system, but you are a part of the foundation, not the foundation. So that's kind of where I kind of disagree with that. The foundation of the man, yes, the rib, which means foundation, it's part of the man's foundation, but that's what woman was created from. Mm-hmm. Not woman was the foundation and then that was inserted into the man. You understand? So I'm saying, so that's just kind of where I disagree with that that interpretation sometimes. Mm-hmm. But like you said, yes, that was the first thing that God described as not good, was that man was not supposed to be alone. And so, but also the role of Adam at that time was he was in charge of everything. Yeah. He was in charge of the land. He was in charge of being over all the livestock, the fish and all that. And like you said, God gave Adam originally the option of, hey, all of this stuff that you're in charge of, do you deem any of this suitable to be your helper? And another, another translation, another word for helper is suitable. So, he saw none of, the animals or anything like that suitable enough to be his helper. So God was like, yeah, I'm going to create something from you. And most people, will say, if you want something done right, you do it yourself, right? So God created a helper from Adam himself. So he basically took himself, recreated it, and made a helper out of Adam himself already. So now you have the bone of the bone, flesh of the flesh, and also mind of the mind, right? So even when you go further on to the fall of man and Eve is tempted, Adam was right there with her the whole time. It wasn't like she was tempted by herself. He was there with her when she was tempted. And when she took the apple, he was there. It wasn't like she took the apple and then walked up to him later. He was there with her when she took the apple. He ate the apple right along with her. They had one mind. So not just bone of bone, flesh of flesh, but also mind of mind at that time. So, the role of the man, is supposed to be, he was in charge of everything. He was the worker. And she is his support system. Yes, he had a lot of responsibility. He had all that responsibility on his own. But now you have someone who can help you carry that burden of being in charge of the Garden of Eden. Being in charge of the livestock and the fish and the birds. So, and also just being there for him, period. Being someone that he can lean on, being someone he can communicate with. He couldn't communicate with the animals or the birds or the fish. He had to communicate with someone of his same likeness. So that's just kind of, as far as a man is concerned, we need that. We need someone to be there for us. We can't function, without someone being there to assist us. We need a suitable helper. There's so many things and so many burdens that are just part of everyday life that you can't take on your own. And so the role of the woman is to be there, especially in marriage, is to be there to help support the man in order to do what he's purposed to do. And that's vital. Every man needs that. Every man can't get through. Not every man can get through the burdens of being a man, the responsibilities, the weight, the pressure, without someone being there to support him, to guide him, to bring him back on the right path, the right course. So I think that's just kind of where the role of the woman and the man kind of come together. Is that, yes, man was created first. Man was given these responsibilities. Adam was given these responsibilities, not Eve.
Yeah.
So these were things that he had to bear, and he needed someone to help him.
No, that was really good. So I want to bring up like the actual, I guess I would say, order of things. And so in 1 Corinthians 11:3, it literally gives us a blue point of the husband is the head, we are the support, and God is over the man. So it goes literally God, your husband, and then the wife. And so specifically with that being said, I want to talk about spiritual covering that the husband is literally ordained. That is one of the roles of a man, to have a spiritual covering, because I feel like we always talk about the husband like being the protector and everything of the family, and yes, that is true in the physical, but what does being the spiritual covering mean to you, and how do you live that out?
As the man of the household, you're responsible for um, your household. So you need to be the leader spiritually as well. If you're the leader of the household, you need to be the leader spiritually. You need to be for your household, you need to be the direct connection to God. Um, God is over the man, man is over the woman. That's not necessarily speaking on significance, because the man and the woman are still equals.
Yeah.
But as far as spiritual authority, the man has a responsibility to lead spiritually over his household and be the direct connection to God for his household, for his relationship, for his marriage. So, the woman is there to help keep the man spiritually on the right path, but the man is responsible for the spiritual salvation, basically, of the sanctification of the marriage. And it's there's no, like I said, there's no like disparity or however you want to say, as far as like the significance of a woman.
Yeah.
Because God describes the woman as the helper.
Yeah.
But
it's
that's
not like I'm less than.
You're not less than the man by saying that the man is over the woman. But you have to also look at, when the God calls you the helper, that carries great significance.
Yeah.
Because God also called the Holy Spirit the helper.
That's good.
So you have to think about it in that way. The woman plays a great role in a marriage relationship, because being described as the helper, and also the Holy Spirit being described as the helper, just shows the significance that God has for the woman.
Yeah. And I also, dang, I think I lost my train of. Oh, I was trying to say the day-to-day of, like, what does the day-to-day look like of being a spiritual covering? And this is how I always like to describe it. I describe Chris as, he's like the umbrella of the family. And honestly, I am not graced to do what he does. I am graced in other functions, but the man, the husband being the spiritual leader and just the head of the family, God specifically gave you the grace to live that out and carry that burden. The female, by all means, we have our own set of gifts and talents, but the divine order that God wanted us to be under is that the husband has the grace. And so the way I describe it is like, he is the covering over us, and spiritually, in the natural, the protector, he covers us, and we are all under there. Like, yes, I am holding the umbrella, but he is literally the umbrella. And so what are some talk to our inspiring people that's probably getting married or trying to restructure their marriage? How do you feel like on a day-to-day basis that you are the spiritual covering of this family?
Well, it starts with the man. And I told you this before, but last time I was fasting, God told me, if I want to see significant change in my own life and with my family, in my family's life, it starts with me. It starts with me and how I change my life, how I seek God, how I come to Christ, how I basically build on the kingdom. and be a representation. And until I start making the right moves, our family won't prosper. And so, like as you say, like the umbrella, you know, the man is constantly being bombarded, you know, and so whether it's obligations for physically protecting the family, financially protecting the family, spiritually protecting the family, and that's a main responsibility. It is praying over your family, praying over your family like an umbrella, being over your family. So if you're seeking prosperity for your family, for your marriage, it starts with the man to initiate those type of prayers. And so, yes, the man may waver, the man may falter, the man may become distant, and that's where the umbrella holder comes into play, because the woman is greatly affected if the umbrella has holes in it.
Let me tell you, I don't know. I feel like early in our marriage, I had to really like tell Chris that his mood, cadence, how he carries himself, like affects literally everyone in the family, especially me. Like I was like, Chris, I am so sensitive to your mood, because Chris he got delivered. He used to have really bad road rage, and he would be in the car like, and I would just be like talking, laughing, and then something happened, and he would be yelling at somebody, and I was like, Chris, you do not understand. Your temperament affects me to my soul. So it literally changes the atmosphere. And so I feel like for the man, like the husbands, I don't think you understand. If you're coming in from work, like decompress while you're driving, but when you come in that household, you control so much when it comes to the wife and that kids. And so we are literally like looking at you and following. So if you good and happy and doing all this, we will follow you. If you not good and you off, the family is off. And so that is like a practical way of understanding, like you are literally the leader of this family, and your temperament and how you carry yourself affects the whole family. And so that's why it was so good when God revealed to you, like, when you make these changes, your family will follow. And statistically, this is all true. Like it says, if someone is, first of all, single mothers, shout out to all of you. But if the wife is saved, like, oh, okay. But if that husband gets saved, or if you're raised by a father, your predictability of being successful like increases. So basically, having a two-parent household, okay, yes, but if you're just raised by the mother, your predictability of being successful is decreased. But if you are raised by a single father, it's just slightly below having a two-parent household. So that is
literally LeBron James.
That's literally how effective the male is in your life. So that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, and I mean, even just like the analogy of, the umbrella. If you're carrying an umbrella, but you're not carrying it over your head,
even if we got holes in it, I'm getting wet.
You're getting wet, but you're getting hit with everything, right? You're getting hit with everything that the man is supposed to be taking on, right? And that's for the whole family. If the whole family is underneath this umbrella, but the umbrella is not covering you, then the family is the one that's getting wet, right?
Yeah.
And so not only is the umbrella getting wet, but the family is too. So it's also the man's responsibility to take on some of the precipitation, right? for his family, so that they are covered and they're not getting wet. They're not getting hit with hail. They're not getting hit with the wind. They're not getting burnt from the sun.
That part.
You know, so these are just things that, you know, you have to realize and understand as a man, is that God created you to be the covering, the protector. And it's not just being a physical protector. It's about being a spiritual protector. Mm-hmm. And if you want your family to prosper, then you have to be the one that's responsible for coming to Christ and praying for your family.
And getting them downloads from God. God gonna tell you specifically.
But you have to be in the right spiritual presence in order for your family to reap the benefits. So that's just something to think about. Like most men, you know, you're concerned with financial situations and things of that nature, you know, and it's not going to come together unless Christ is behind everything, unless God is behind everything that you do. And that's what God had revealed to me. He said that if you want your family to prosper like I know they're supposed to, it starts with you. So you have to get yourself together. You have to start doing the right things. And until you do, your family is not going to receive the blessings that I have for them. Mm-hmm. Not just me. Whether it's a raise at my job or whatever. My entire family. Miracle's gonna miss out on her blessings. Maverick, Mila, and Marley are gonna miss out on their blessings because it starts with me. I have to put them in that position. So,
what is the first thing guys do to learn how to be a spiritual covering?
Get in the Bible. That's going to be my answer for everything.
Seek knowledge,
but get in the Bible. The Bible is the knowledge. The Bible has all of those answers. Yeah. The Bible has every example, whatever situation that you think you're going through that you don't feel like can be relatable, or you can't find another example of what you're going through. There's already one in the Bible. Somebody's already gone through it. Whatever problem you have, whatever thing that you're seeking or trying to find, you know, whatever you feel is missing, all of that is in the Bible already. Mm-hmm. Get familiar with the Bible and you will learn exactly what you need to do. The Bible is the blueprint for life. Yeah. So,
it's like with any other thing you don't know, you seek out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so that is literally the blueprint. Like, seek out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And the source for that is going to the blueprint to figure out
the right way to do it.
Yeah, because he created it. It's like, why, in the most practical sense, when you have anything, you go to the manual, you go to what created it. And so a lot of things when it comes to marriage, and if it's off, or, you know, communication, or how to do all of this, people go to the world to try to figure out tactics or ways of doing this. And I'm not saying those are wrong. Like, yes, you should find out ways to communicate. Yes, you should do all of those things, but go to the source. Who created marriage? That's how we started off. We told you the foundation of marriage and who created marriage. So why not go to the source? When my car breaks down, I go to the car dealership that manufactured it. So go to the source who created it. And that is, yes, those little things temporarily work, but you got to go to the source.
The important thing is you want to do that because you need to learn God's character. You learn God's character, then you know how to approach whatever situation. So if you're going through something in your marriage, or if you're seeking the answer of how to handle something as a married couple, you go to the Bible, you learn the character of God and what God intended for marriage. What God intended, how God intended for a man and a woman to work together. And that's the thing, is it's flesh of flesh, bone of bone. You're working together. There is no mine and yours anymore. It's ours. And that's the main thing. That's one of the main things that destroys marriages, is that someone still wants their individuality. And yes, you are still your own individual person. But when it comes to your marriage, when it comes to decisions in your marriage, you're one. You're one.
And it can be like the brokenness of the oneness. But that's a whole nother video we gonna get into. But of course, thank you guys for watching. We really hope you learned something. I feel like the next video we're gonna talk about the women, so come back for that one. Thank you guys. Bye.